So yeah, here's some of my thoughts about Marvel so far. Just some general general thoughts about it. First of all, it looks hella degenerate in the sense that I think tagging, because it's free and because the risk reward on it is so skewed towards the offensive tagging players' favor, will be like you just tag like fucking crazy, right? It's gonna be a super fast-paced game. I think it's gonna be like that, where you just jump and you air dash, you tag, and then it's just a 50-50 every time. And it's gonna be very hard to avoid. It's gonna be super strong. And any character who has a good lockdown move is gonna be very powerful at that. But I think as sort of a counterbalance to tagging, I think beam supers seem incredibly good. Fast startup beam supers seem really good because let's say my opponent is playing a team and he does some kind of move, he tags, and then he goes for a mix-up. You block it. After you tag, your character stays out for a while. So what you can do is you can push block the character that is attacking you away from you. And then let's say you're playing Dormammu, you do Chaotic Flame, you shoot Chaotic Flame. And even if it doesn't hit the character out, it will punish the character that tagged out. So beam supers will be powerful just because you can tag on extra damage to characters like that. But unlike Marvel 3, you don't take additional damage when your tagged character gets hit. They take the normal damage because, you know, they don't take like the extra increased happy birthday damage like other characters did, right? So that's really interesting. Just in general, some of my thoughts about characters and stuff. Dormammu's Chaotic Flame seems like one of the best supers in the game to me. Because you remember in Marvel 3, let's say this is a character and let's say this is Dorm. If Dorm shoots Chaotic Flame, he gets hit all the way to full screen. It's like he gets blasted backwards. When you get hit in this game, you kind of stay more still by Chaotic Flame. So setting up mix-ups off of it and setting up just stuff when it hits is going to be easier. It's going to be good to punish tags. He can combo off regular Dark Holes, so he looks good to me. Dante's $1 million is probably the best super in the game because it lasts for so long, and you know, it allows so many different like kind of mix-up potential moments at the end of it or throughout it, and yeah, it just seems really cheap to me. Just the length that it takes seems really good, and I think a lot of the popular shells from Marvel 3 will be really good in this game because you can play just 2 characters instead of having to play the 3-man shell, and they can constantly tag in and out. So the characters that synergize well in Marvel 3, because the game is so similar, will be really good in this game, right? So like, I think about Dante Frank. Remember how Dante Frank was a very popular shell in Marvel 3? Anytime Dante gets a hit in this game, like Frank is automatically getting level 4 or level 5 because Dante does any B&B, he has 1 bar, he does $1 million. He just starts shooting you, bang bang. You tag into Frank, you set up the tripod, you take a picture, and you're automatically at level 4 or level 5. So that alone is going to be really powerful. Like you instantly just get super leveled up Frank. It's really good. Is there a cooldown for tagging? The cooldown is like after you do your tag, they stay out there for like a second or two, and then maybe a little longer than that, maybe like 2 seconds, and then they're just out of there after, right? They leave after that. So it's gonna be sort of like one of those situations where they're punishable, but it's hard because especially if the other character's flying around at the top of the screen and the character's down here, it's hard to hit them, you know. But yeah, there are things to consider too about shells like that. Somebody brought up some shells not working, like Dante Zero or something. You don't have traditional assist anymore, so it's not like you can play Point Zero and just call jam session, right? There are abilities to set up assists all the time, but the assist comes from your point character, not your other character. So it's going to be really important to have 2 characters that can flow in and out really easily together. You can't just play like in a character for their assist now, right? Because you have to play both characters on point a lot. So yeah, it's hella whack. That some of the shells will be way different. But yeah, I don't know. Marvel Infinite looks a lot of fun to me. I'm sad about the roster, but I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be good to play. Not to look at, that's for sure.